Good evening, everyone. Dr. Pruden here, but this session is not about me. We have another awesome speaker, expert in the community. I cannot wait to hear what she's going to impart and share with us. And so, Dr. Jennell Whitfield Riddick, come on in and show us how and tell us how wonderful you are. And I'll go to the back of the stage and we'll be listening now. Welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. Good evening. Thank you so much, Dr. Karen, and a big hello to the entire Sister Leaders Conference of family and community. It's my joy and my honor to be with you all tonight and just to share a little bit about my area of flow, where I like to bring value to particularly women who are trying to juggle and balance it all, right? Sound familiar? There's so many roles that we as women play, and it's not difficult to become overwhelmed, to overextend ourselves, to be burnt out, overwhelmed. And so, my goal and my challenge is to help those women who know they are called to thrive in so many different lanes of life. The faith community, the business sector, the educational sector, the political arena, and really help to say, okay, yes, there are so many gifts and talents in you. Now, how are we going to allow the world to experience you in all your grandeur without you burning out? And so I'm simply going to teach a few principles from my latest book, which is entitled Getting It Done Without Becoming Undone. Because here's what I sincerely believe. It is not the plan, the will of God for your life that you fulfill all these things and you become all these things to all these people, but you yourself are empty. You have no joy and no fulfillment. You get to the finish line of that particular assignment, but you can't even enjoy it because you're so exhausted, right? And so my goal is to help all of us who are on this journey to be productive, but still have peace of mind, right? To be able to have joy on the journey, right? I meet so many people who are crushing their business goals, making tremendous impact in their communities. But at the end of the day, they are so depleted, they can't even see the great things that they were able to do and accomplish and influence. And so tonight, there's just a couple key areas that I want to share. Of course, for our time together, I'll be brief, but as we kind of go through the community and as we have the conference in October, I love to delve a little bit more into these major concepts. So the first idea for us tonight, particularly to my sister leaders out there, is if we're going to continue to be successful and get it done without becoming undone, we're going to have to make sure that we have the right words. That's right, the right words. Sounds simple, but we have to learn how to incorporate certain words and phrases into our vocabulary every day so that we can maximize who we are without running the risk of becoming overwhelmed and underperforming in the areas that we know we're called to. Now, the first word that I want to make sure everybody has in their vocabulary is not a difficult one. You've heard it before, but you probably haven't used it enough to all of my overachievers out there. And that first simple word is no. Waiting for something deep, right? Not deep today. Simply the word no. Listen, ladies, no is a complete sentence. And I think we have to understand that not only is no a complete sentence, but no does not necessitate an explanation. And I don't know about you, but as I'm getting more comfortable saying no, because I know that I'm called to so many different lanes in life, and I want to be able to give myself fully to whatever I'm doing at that time. Listen, sometimes we're going to have to say no. But if you're anything like me, there are moments where you may say no, but the person on the other end is not used to you saying no, right? So it might be something simple like, can you bake 2 dozen cookies for the bake sale at your child's school? And everything in you wants to do it, but that's just not on, that's just not going to fit in the schedule. And so when you say no, the person on the other side is like, oh, wait a minute, she always does it. Hold on, she always comes through. What do you mean no? And they're almost waiting for you to explain. Well, let me help some amazing woman, sister leader who's listening today, no does not need any further explanation, no apologies, because we have to be honest. Even if we don't want to explain why we said no, we do kind of have a little bit of guilt. But in this season, I sincerely believe for all of the great things that we are destined and called to do, we're going to have to be able to be firm with our no, so that those things that we're called to in that moment, in that season, can get the best of us without us trying to overextend and become overwhelmed, right? So first thing that we have to have the right vocabulary. So no has got to be in the category of the sister leader who's seeking to go to the next level and do more. Not only that, but another simple phrase that I've seen has helped so many female leaders in different sectors to succeed and thrive is, let me get back to you on that. Let me get back to you says, okay, right now, my mom may be in a whole bunch of different places, and I may not be able to readily speak to that at the moment. Or I don't want to tell you that I can do it. And then when I look back at my schedule, I'm like, okay, I can't do that. Let me get back to you gives you a moment to see, okay, hey, does this fit into my list of priorities? And we're going to talk about prioritization in just a moment. Does this fit into my priorities? Does this fit into my assignment for the season? Because I often share with ladies that I coach and mentor, I tell them, listen, just because you can do something doesn't mean you're called to do it, right? They're very different. Just because you have the ability to be here, to go here, and to do that, that still may not be the assignment for that moment and for that season. So let me get back to you gives you a chance to think, is this something that I'm called to? And is this something that I'm called to do right now? All right. So again, there's so many words and phrases, but those are two that I want to just kind of share tonight as we're talking about developing the right words that we have to incorporate in our vocabularies if we're going to get it done without becoming undone, without unraveling in the process. That's not the goal. Because again, you can be productive, but still have peace of mind. All right. Next, I want to share, not only do we want to make sure you have the right words, but we also want to maintain the right mindset. Mindset is so, so, so important. When you see people who are accomplishing great things, it's not always because they are the brightest. It's not always because they have the best social circles. A lot of the success of individuals that you see in your everyday lives is because of their mindset. Right. The Bible even tells us, right, that as a man thinketh, so is he. And so we have to make sure that what's going on in our minds is setting the foundation for what we want to accomplish and who we really can be in our everyday lives. The right mindset is going to help us to stay focused, right? One of my mentors talked about putting on blinders. Sometimes it's like you have to kind of focus in because the world is so busy and hectic. And so oftentimes we'll look at people who are being successful in this arena and we'll say, oh, let me go see what they're doing. And then we'll start doing that. And then we'll say, oh, there's another shiny thing over here. Let me go look over here and see what they're doing. And before we know it, we are totally out of our lane. We are totally in a different sphere that we weren't really called to operate in. And then we're wondering why we're not graced for that or why it's not flowing for us in the way that maybe it's flowing for other people. We've got to be able to focus, right? Focus in on the assignment for the moment. Focus in on your particular calling. Focus in on your path, right? Because while you may have a similar end goal as someone else, your path or your journey to get in there may look totally different. And so you have to have the right mindset. Part of the right mindset also is what I call having proper people perspective. Yes, having proper people perspective. Yes. I don't know about you. I like people. I love people, but I would challenge each of you who are endeavoring to accomplish all the great things that are destined for your life is you have to have proper people perspective, meaning, yes, like people, love people, serve people, but you cannot be fueled by the opinions and the approval of people. People won't always understand your vision. They may not always understand your passion, your drive, your why, right? And oftentimes, many of us talk about our why as what fuels us, but we can't expect everybody to see it, get it, understand it, or like it, right? So let's start there. So I want to encourage those of you who are listening and who are part of this community to understand, please have the proper people perspective. Some people are going to love what you're doing. Some may not like what you're doing, and some may not really have an opinion either way. But we can't be governed by their opinions. And one reason is because people's opinions shift and change, right? One moment, your business may be the best thing since sliced bread. The next moment, they may be like, I don't really know if I like that anymore. And so it's fine, but you cannot change and shift every time the emotions of the individuals or the opinions of the individuals around you move and shift. So we want to make sure, number one, that you have the right vocabulary, the right words. What are you saying to yourself? What are you saying to those in your sphere of influence, right? The right words. Second is the right mindset. I've got to be focused on my assignment, not on what everybody else is doing, not on what everybody else is saying. That's proper people perspective, but I've got to have the right mindset. I've got to wake up every day saying there's greatness inside of me. I'm not sure if you do affirmations, if you have some quiet time, but that is going to be essential for you to be rooted and grounded and focused before you go out here in this ever-changing world and try to fulfill the greatness that's inside of you. All right, so we have the right words, we have the right mindset. And then I want to also share about having the ability to prioritize with purpose. Prioritize with purpose. Listen, has someone ever called you or text you or you got an email? I'm sure you have. And they made their need or request seem absolutely urgent. Like if it didn't get done right then, the world was somehow going to fall apart. And maybe you weren't able to get to it right then, but guess what? The world did not fall apart. All was okay. Listen, everybody's going to have needs, and particularly as you continue to rise in leadership and your influence and your impact continues to grow, there are going to be many people who need something from you. They need you to sign off on this. They need you to approve this. They need your opinion on that. And it's great that you've gotten to a level in your life and your career where you are an influencer, where you are able to lead others and lead them well. That's great. Also, though, there comes a responsibility and a weight with that type of leadership and influence. And so we really have to learn how to prioritize with purpose. We have to know that everything is not urgent. Okay, so give yourself a break, like take a moment, and you have to be able to say, okay, what happens if I don't get to this right now? Because sometimes when we pause for a moment, even if the person on the other end is frantic, when we pause and we think, okay, wait a minute, if I don't get to this right now, maybe someone else can do it. Maybe I can delegate that responsibility to someone who can do it. And then I can give my energy to what maybe others in my immediate sphere can't do right now, right? Maybe I can let somebody else make that decision so that I can go over here and tend to some other things, right? So everything is not going to be urgent. So many of us are stressed and overwhelmed and running on empty, not because we have to, but because we haven't learned how to prioritize with purpose, right? What's the main assignment? And then what are the steps? What is going to help me to get there? And then what is ancillary, or what are those things that I can kind of put off to the side? They need to get done, but they don't necessarily have to be done right now. I often tell those in leadership in any sphere that we have to learn how to run our schedules and not let our schedules run us. Listen, I don't like to see leaders who are, pouring into the lives of others, who are like always unhealthy, or always in a place of being frustrated, or always being overwhelmed. And so we want to make sure that we can look and see, okay, what are those things on the outskirts, those ancillary things, those things on the outskirts that are not the main thing, right? We've got to learn how to keep the main thing the main thing. So if this is a season where you are building, right, you're building your business, and you're working on your brand, you're working on developing, who your target audience is and what you're going to serve. Maybe this is not the time where you are attending to some of the other areas that people may say, hey, child, I'm going to this conference and they're talking about XYZ. It may be a great event, but that may not be what your focus is for the season. So you want to look at that. What are some steps that can help you? Great questions we see coming up. What are some steps that can help you learn how to prioritize with purpose? One thing, and it's really basic, that we can learn how to do is to have have an immediate, right, an overall goal, right, and then steps to the goal. I've met so many amazing leaders who know what they want to accomplish, but they don't have steps along the way. And so it's like, yes, my business is gonna, hit the $1 million mark. That's great. I'm in agreement with you. Yes. But what are the steps? So if I have that big overarching goal, what are the steps that I'm going to use? So maybe a step is I want to look at my systems to see if my systems can handle the increase that I'm believing for. Not only do I want to look at my systems, but I may even want to reevaluate my financial structure. Can my structure handle can my current structure of my CRM, of my follow-up methods, my bookkeeping methods, can all of that handle the ultimate goal that I'm working on of making the business of a corporation become $1 million entity, right? So I might have that main goal. Many of us have the main goal, but then we don't have the steps along the way to get there. So that is one way. And then staying focused, I would say also want to be very practical is sometimes it's as simple as writing it down, right? Writing it down, making it plain, but then sharing it with your team, sharing it with colleagues, sharing it with mentors who can also help hold you accountable. And that's, something we know Dr. Karen does so well. Not only has she been very successful, but she pours into others and helps them to evaluate what they're doing so that they can reach maximum potential. Listen, we were not meant to be islands. We were not meant to operate and do this thing in and of ourselves. So share your goals with others, with trusted individuals, with a coach, with a mentor. You don't have to figure it all out, right? And then sometimes there'll be things that may need to be tweaked, right? And so we have to humble ourselves and say, hey, okay, I may be really strong in this area, but in this other area, I may not have all the tools. And that's where it's great to reach out and secure, maybe hire a coach or hire a consultant. At the bare minimum, share with a trusted voice what your goals are, because they'll help hold you accountable. But then also when you actually are able to articulate it, hey, I'm working toward this. Hey, I want to scale this year. Hey, I want to bring on more staff this year, right? As you begin to hear yourself saying it, it keeps the goal and the vision in front of you so that you're not all over the place. Okay. I love this. Dr. Kim reminds us, don't forget to go back and tweak your processes. Yes, 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 yes. Listen, what may have worked well, and I've seen this so often for my own business, but also for those that I work with, what may have worked in a previous season may not work in this season, right? So you want to do an honest evaluation of how you're doing. Many of us kind of set it and forget it, right? But your business is not a crock pot, right? It is not set it and forget it and hope for the best. But really, it's looking at the systems, evaluating them. If it's still working, great. If I need to tweak it, let's work on it. Again, so that you can get it all done without becoming undone. And so I want to encourage all of my sister leaders out there. There is greatness inside of you. There is so much that you can and you're called to accomplish, but we just have to make sure that we develop the right systems, not only for our businesses, but also for our lives so that we can balance it all. People often say, can you have it all? And I believe that you can. I believe that you can have a thriving business and a healthy life, right? I believe that you can take care of your physical temple, that you can take care of your mental health, that you could also have a thriving companies, plural, that you can run the businesses that you dream of, the nonprofits that you want to serve your community. We can have it all, but not until we learn how to put systems in place that are going to help us juggle it and have joy in the midst of the juggle. So it's been my joy to share with you tonight. I look forward to continuing to connect with this amazing community, and just want to celebrate again one more time and show so much gratitude to Dr. Cran, who has called us all together to utilize our gifts, our talents, and our skills to build a community, to build each other, and to experience the brilliance that is in all of us. So thanks so much for having me, and I look forward to staying connected.
Oh, I love it. I couldn't take notes fast enough. I was typing. I just love it. I love it. And it's what you have all shared, what you have shared with us is so in line with this year's theme, her voice, her vision, her victory. As you talk about reassessing our businesses and having saying no in terms of utilizing our words to make sure that we have the best use of our time. I think a lot of times we give away our time too freely, and time is more valuable than money. We can replenish money, we can't replenish time. And so I love that. And then that mindset, that focus, I think that's where we all struggle, and we have to constantly, talk to ourselves about get back on it, stay focused, because we do all have the shiny part syndrome type thing where, it's through the media, through commercials, through people bringing opportunities, we can get sidetracked very easy. And so I think it is extremely important to have not only to help us stay focused, but to have our goals written down, as you said, and then share them. Because when you do share them, as you said, then people start holding you accountable. And I also believe that's the main reason why we don't share them.
Right, true. So true.
Because we don't want people to hold us accountable, just in case we don't do it, or just in case we get sidetracked. And so I love this. And so tell the Sister Leaders community how they can find you, how they can stay in contact with you. Tell them everything they need to know if they want to know more.
Thank you so much. So absolutely. So if you want to know more, there is I also have a nonprofit. It's called Walk in It. And so that's kind of also a great snapshot into who I am, into what I do. But I'm on Instagram at Dr. Jennell Riddick. That's at DrJennell Riddick. I'm also on Facebook. Also my personal website is drjennellriddick.com, and my nonprofit website is walkinit.com. But looking forward to staying connected.
Awesome. And is that Dr. Jennell Riddick, is that .com?
Yes.
Okay. I just want to put. Is that right? Yeah. All right. Is
That's
that right?
Uh-huh.
Okay, great. And of course, your whole full bio will be posted with this. So we thank you so much. More to come from Dr. Jennell. Of course, this is just the beginning. You know how we do it here at Sister Leaders. You have the opportunity to see the speakers in different modalities, talking a little bit about what it is they do in their lane of brilliance. So by the time that they hit the stage in October, you know exactly what it is that they do and what their specialty is. And so you can identify who are your must-sees for the conference. And so make sure that you have Dr. Jennell as one of your must-sees for the conference. I thank you so much, Dr. Jennell.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a great evening.
Thank you.